Welcome to the Tony Gaskin Show, best-selling author, celebrity life coach, and international speaker. The purpose of this show is to bring you motivation, inspiration, and education in the areas of life, love, and business. Thank you for joining me. Now let's get started. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Talks with Tony. Wanted to talk to you really quick. I was just reading an email on another podcast, and I was reading about a young lady who she had this guy. It was from a man. He was with a woman who wouldn't sleep with him, and then he left her because she wouldn't have sex with him because of her religious beliefs. And then he went to another situation and got that woman pregnant, but does not want that woman, and he wants the woman who wouldn't sleep with him. So he got this other woman pregnant, and she is 7 months pregnant, and he wants the girl he left who wouldn't have sex with him. And it made me realize, and I want to do a separate, podcast on this, and I'm also on Instagram Live while I'm doing this podcast. So Instagram, make sure y'all subscribe to Tony Gaskin Show on iTunes. And if you have Google, they creating a podcast app. So just go to YouTube and subscribe, to my YouTube, because we upload them there as well. And if y'all see, I jumped on that IGTV, which I think you can watch it from the main Instagram, but you also can download the IGTV app if you want to. But my message is, and I want you to understand this, and my message is to respect yourself. Respect yourself. And see, what you have to realize is that when you respect yourself, things in life will seem to go a little slower. It's going to go a little slower because you have self-respect, and we live in a world that wants you to disrespect yourself. We live in a world that doesn't want you to love yourself. We live in a world that they say, hey, if you will sell your body, if you will, degrade yourself, if you will look a fool, act a fool, and do everything like a fool, we will elevate you much faster. So when you have self-respect, it will take longer for you to achieve what you want, because you got to remember that the good Lord gave dominion of the earth to the devil, to the adversary. So the higher ups, the people who are high up, a lot of them are atheists. A lot of them don't have morals and standards. When you look at whether it's the president, whether it's CEOs of major media companies, major magazines, a lot of these people are atheists. So if you don't believe in God and teachings and religion, then you don't believe in construction, you don't believe in constraints, you don't believe in boundaries, you really may not have just ethics, because you believe you can do whatever you want to do. And then you realize also that you make more money if you got stupid people. So if you have stupid people, or you have people who are ignorant, then you can make more money off of them. So when you respect yourself, it takes longer to make it because you know what you want. I remember talking to this guy who he went and signed a deal, with one of the major production companies who deal with the networks. And he was talking to me, and he said, Tony, I did something wrong. He said, I went in there like, what can I do for y'all? He was like, but hearing your message, hearing what you said to them when they called you in for the meeting, you said to them, what can y'all do for me? So he was like, I didn't respect myself. Guess what? He got on a lot faster than me. Got on TV, they put him out there because he was cheaper and didn't know his worth, didn't know his value. So they were able to just put him wherever. And he went from doing 15 different things because he didn't really have a lane. And so I saw this, and I saw it happen, and I realized you have to get to the place to where you can truly love yourself. And especially when it comes to, relationships. And today with women, because y'all are getting so desperate for a relationship. And I want you to understand, and I say this all the time, I want you to understand this though, that a man will take and leave you. A man will leave a woman who does not respect herself and go to a woman who does respect herself. He will take and cut you off. He will, everything you want to give him, everything you want to give him. And I want you to realize that just because a man accepts it doesn't mean that's what he wants. So you can give a man what you think he wants, but if that's not what he needs, then guess what? He's not going to stay around. And he literally will cut you off. He literally will cut you off. Sorry about that. He will cut you off and move on to a woman who respects herself. And now you will be left there high and dry. So now, just like this woman who respected herself and loved herself, the dude broke up with her. She said, okay, cool. Okay, cool. Go on about your business, because these my standards. I know who I am. I know what I'm not willing to compromise. He went to this other woman, got her pregnant. Now she pregnant and he don't even want her. He doesn't want her. He want to move on and try to get back the woman that he broke up with. And so now the woman who compromised her self-worth, who knew that she should have had her legs closed and her mind open, she should have had her ears open and her mind open and her eyes open, but instead she had her eyes closed. She had her eyes closed, she had her ears closed, she had her mind closed, and she had her legs open. She had her legs open and got pregnant, and now compromised her self-worth and her self-respect, and he is about to leave her as a single mother. And he's going to be a weekend dad. So see, when you love yourself and respect yourself, you might not get everything. You might not get everything that you want right away, but you will get everything that's for you eventually. And it might take more time to get it, but you're going to get it. So understand today that you got to look at your life and you got to set standards for your life. And you have to be willing to uphold what you want, because you know in your heart right from wrong. You know in your heart what you need and what you want. You know in your heart what's the recipe for a healthy relationship for you. You know in your heart what's the recipe for a good work environment, a good situation on your job. So you know these things. So if you take and you compromise those things, you're going to get what you don't want and be stuck with it. And then you're going to see somebody else who refused to settle get exactly what you wanted because they refused to settle for less. And you may get ahead faster, just like women come and they tell me, well, you know, I'm keeping my legs closed. I'm keeping my legs closed and because I love God and I don't want to have sex before marriage. But I can't keep a man because he don't want to wait. But then I look at these women who sleeping around and they naked on Instagram and they keep a man. The women who, sell their body, degrade their body, show everything and have sex on the first night or in the first week or in the first month, they keep a man. And what you don't realize is that's temporary. That man is going from woman to woman to woman, and he might take up a year of her life. He may take up 2 years of her life. He might take up 5 or 6 years of her life. And he'll do that because she just his main. He don't have any self-love for himself. He doesn't have any self-respect. So he cheating on her the whole time. But he cheating on us with one-night stands, with one-hitter quitters. And so he don't really have to give them much time. So he got her as she the chief HO and compromising herself. But then he got some other ones, that's just Indians in the tribe for him that he just using and abusing. He disrespecting them instead of treating them like a queen. He trying to herd them like cattle. He trying to be disrespectful and have one woman that's just the head of low self-esteem. And then everybody else just got a little bit less self-esteem than her. And then these other ones will be okay with being cheated on, knowing he got a main. The main will be okay knowing that he got some kind of side chicks and that maybe even throw some threesomes in there, throw some strip club trips in there and just dogging them out. And at the end of the day, he still feel empty. He still got to get high. He still got to get drunk. He still got to pop pills. He still want a woman that's going to require more of him. He still wants a woman that's going to have morals and values and standards, because he gets to a place to where he says, you know what? I got a daughter, or I want a daughter, or I want kids, and I want a woman who I can trust as a good mother. I want a woman who I know can really be there and lead and guide them when I'm working. When I can't be there, I want a woman that I know got a backbone and got some self-respect. So he really wants this other woman, but he dealing with these other females because it's temporary. So you will see these women keep a man, and you can be doing the right thing and be there like, man, I'm single. I'm going to bed alone. And the next thing you know, it looks like, well, they happy. They going on trips. They got a ring. But I know she loose. I know she is out there. I know she been around. And that's the thing. He's with her for that reason, because he can be and do who he wants to be, and he can do who he wants to do because she don't have enough self-respect for herself. And then here you are with the respect. So you might watch her for 10 years, be in a happy relationship before you get one real solid, real relationship. But when hers is ending, yours will be beginning, and she will go through 10 other relationships while you still in that one relationship because you waited for the right one to come along instead of just taking what was there. So you waited for the right one instead of the right now. So understand the difference. Set your standards. Know your standards. If y'all in Detroit, make sure to look on my page and go to Girl Hold My Hand. I'm going to be talking about this same similar topic, a little deeper, on Friday night in Detroit. So make sure you get your tickets. Just, look on my page. You'll see it. Make sure I'm recording my podcast right now. So make sure you get the Tony Gaskin Show on the podcast. Subscribe to it. If you have a question for me that you want me to answer on the podcast, send it to inbox@TonyGaskins.com. And know this, when you have standards, see, y'all gonna see, and I'm living it myself. I'm trying to live it myself to the best of my ability. Because if I was willing to compromise myself, if I was willing to be a fool, if I was willing to not talk about, God, or if I was willing to not be a Christian, if I was willing to curse, if I was willing to, do more than what I do, I'd have been on TV. If I was willing to cut a fool. But because I got to move and operate with some standards and with some integrity because of what's in my heart, it's going to take me longer to get my TV show. It's going to take me longer because I'm not going to do a Sambo dance. I ain't going to get up there with the Sambo dance and the blackface and just do whatever I'm told to do by a producer because this the message. It got to be in line with, what's in my heart. It got to be in line with my belief system. And if that never happens, then I just create on my own, in my own lane. But see, when you have standards, it takes longer to make it. In anything, in your relationship, in your job, in your business, career, whatever it is, it's going to take you longer. But guess what? When you get it, it's going to last longer. You're going to have longevity. So I want you to understand that this is what you're going to have to experience while you are in waiting, while you're loving yourself and respecting yourself and you setting those standards. You're going to see people come and go. You're going to lose people. You're going to have to let people go. I just posted about separation before elevation. But when it happens, it's going to be there for you. And you're not going to worry about losing it. You're going to have longevity. Hey, God bless y'all. Make sure you subscribe to the Tony Gaskin Show podcast. We'll talk soon.